The ledge on which he lay was cut into a column of red stone, hundreds of feet high, dwarfing the land around. From here he could see a meandering line of tall stone columns, snaking away down the valley carved by the river that flowed between the towering cliffs. Through the settling cloud of dust, Alfonso fancied he saw movement in the lee of the columns. Harpies were gathering in the shadows before the twin suns stilled their bodies once more.
"I meant no harm."
"Harm?" she snorted. "You cannot harm me, boy."
The pressure from her staff increased, and Alfonso willed himself to relax, knowing that the more he resisted, the more she would push.
"Besides, Olga here wouldn't allow it, would you, dear?"
Before him, a figure rose on wings that fanned out in a wide arc, blotting out the sun. Part human, part harpy, Mary's eldest daughter glared at him with undisguised hatred, her fierce eyes burning with an amber glow.
"It would be the last thing he did,"
she hissed. Though Olga had inherited her mother's resilience to the sun's rays, her powerful body was that of a harpy, with taloned claws that were as vicious as her nature. Most of the many scars that now covered Alfonso had come from her clawed feet. Not wanting to provoke either mother or daughter further, he dropped his gaze and was rewarded by an easing of pressure from the staff.
"Come, boy, you've lazed about long enough. We can't have you getting soft. Up! You have work to do."
With a glance towards Olga, Alfonso rose to his feet. It was only then that he saw Katya, her sister, hovering nearby on wings turned golden by the sun. Her face bore the same striking features as her sibling. However, Katya's eyes were darker, and her thoughts were unreadable as she stared at him across the void. With a flap of her wings, Olga glided forwards, and Mary stepped from the ledge onto her daughter's back. Though hundreds of feet above the valley floor, neither showed the slightest concern. Moments later, mother and daughter were soaring upwards. The old woman's hood flew back, releasing a tangle of white hair that streamed behind her in the rushing wind.
"Bring him!"
she called. Alfonso turned to see Katya angle her wings and swoop towards him. He just had time to avert his face before she reached forwards with her iron-hard claws to pluck him from the ledge. His stomach lurched as she swept him out over the valley towards the others. Alfonso closed his eyes, trying to blank out the image of that dizzying drop beneath him. Instead, he focused his mind on the one thing that gave him the strength to endure the nightmare of his existence, the memory of his family. Unseen by Mary, their names were carved in an alcove at the back of his cave, the place where he cowered at night when the harpies came. He traced his fingers over the engraved letters in those darkest of moments, for if he was to die, he wanted them to be the last names he uttered.
"Mama, Papa, Raquel,"
he said. Alfonso felt the claws tighten, and he glanced up to find Katya staring at him. Their eyes met, just for a moment, before she returned to gazing at the distant speck in the sky. Beating her wings with renewed force, she soared after her mother and sister, leaving Alfonso alone once more with his thoughts.